Megan Hicks of I Run Far, and I'm with Megan Kimmel. It's a couple days before the 2019 Transvulcania Ultramarathon. You've just arrived here from China. How's it going?
Ooh, I'm tired. Yeah, fresh off the boat or the plane as it is. But yeah, it's a refreshing change of scenery and feel for sure.
Yeah, because you were at, what was the altitude of the hotel you were sleeping in?
It was 4,000 something meters. Yep, 4,300 meters, I want to say, something like that.
And we're at about 4 meters right here.
Yeah.
How's that feeling?
There's a lot more oxygen.
How's that feel?
Yeah, it feels good for sure. Yeah, nice breeze, sunshine. It all feels really nice right now.
Awesome. Well, the last time we had you on camera was after the 2017 North Face 50 mile where you podiumed there. And when I was refreshing myself on that interview, during that interview, you were pretty gung-ho on long races. You're like, 2018, I'm going to do some long races. I'm really stoked about the TDS. And now here we are in 2019. You did a bunch of short races in 2018, one long race, the TDS, and here we are at kind of another long race.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing, but I couldn't have told you that I was preaching those words back in 2017. 2018 definitely turned into another short year for me, short distance racing that is. And yeah, it was actually a pretty big year in the way that I really wasn't ready to go into ultras as much as I thought I was going to be. So yeah, and this is a race I've been wanting to do for a really long time. And I'm to the point where I'm not sure the timing's ever going to be right, how it's early in the season for such a long distance for me. But I had to pass up the opportunity last year because I had a horrible cough from a traveling cough. And so there was no way I was going to miss it this year.
Oh, so maybe I actually didn't know that. Did you come here last year and then you couldn't race?
No, I was signed up and ready to go. I booked flights and everything, but I had, the cough lasted 2 months and there was no way I could race, so I had to bail on it.
So last year's goal, but moved to this year, here we are.
Yep.
Yeah, you're literally fresh off the boat / airplane. You raced the yachting sky run, was about 30K last weekend in Tibet, China?
Yep, 32K.
32K. And you were a lady boss up there. I think you won the race by 45 minutes or something. And
I'm not sure the gap between first and second, but high altitude is kind of my bread and butter. So yeah, it was a fun experience and all of that. And I think, Ragna had just come off of doing the marathon, the subs as well.
Well done. Nailed it.
So, yeah, you'd have to ask her, how her day was going. So, but it was a fun day. Yep.
You've been out to yachting a couple times now. I think you must like that part of the world.
I certainly love really high peaks in which there's 3 somewhat really high, beautiful peaks out there. I love small mountain towns and I love traveling to far out places. So those are the reasons yachting has been a good place for me to go. This year it was more of actually a travel logistics thing than anything else. I was in Japan before that. China was a good layover before coming here for Transvulcania.
And this is part of, are you continuing your world tour after this, or?
Yep, I have 2 weeks in Chamonix where I'm just going to be training before going to the Zegama race, and then I'll be going home after that.
Right on. So altogether, this is how many weeks on the road?
I think it'll end up being 6 or 7.
And you're probably going to arrive home smack dab in mud season in Colorado, a really late mud season.
Yeah, this year for sure with all the snow that we've had. So I'm not thinking that far yet. There's always options in our neck of the woods. So.
One step at a time.
Yep.
Okay, so we're here on La Palma. You just landed, and your bag isn't here, but you've got some running clothes. So.
Yep.
You've already had a run.
I've had a short one. Yeah.
What are your thoughts going into? Yeah, you've done races that are 6 hours, 7 hours. This is kind of creeping up on the longer end of what you have done, but you've nailed a couple 50 milers at this point. So what are your thoughts? It is early May though.
Yeah, now that the last 2 races are done and this race is this weekend, I'm beginning to think more about this race. And I'm kind of, beginning to really remember what 50 miles feels like, which is pretty darn close to a 50 miler. So, I'm wrapping my head around that right now. I have the confidence that I'll be all right. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to give it my best performance ever, but I'll certainly do my best to try.
This course runs pretty interestingly in that like most of the climbing is packed into it's 14,000 feet of climbing, but it's packed into, 60K or something like that. And then a huge amount of the elevation loss is packed into the final 30K. Have you given any thoughts to the way that like the course kind of accordions the climbing and the descending like that? And I don't know how that's going to feel on your body.
Yeah, certainly. I have thought a lot about the descent in particular and how that's a really pretty long downhill. But the other more positive way to look at it is it's pretty easy to run downhill energetically or energy wise. So it's, to me, you could almost shorten it down to 50K of uphill and then the finish. So I think I'm just going to go in that direction on this one. And I'm also really curious to see what the course is like in the next couple days, to see if it's actually just like a really slow grind or if there's more kind of undulating terrain, which is kind of what I'm hoping for, is some turnover and stuff like that.
I think you're going to find a lot of undulating terrain there. I mean, there's some digger climbs that just kind of go on forever, but it's amazing how runnable the course is.
Yeah, that sounds like fun to me.
And you're really like no stranger to sustained downhill. I mean, you ran the Pikes Peak Marathon this past summer, set a new course record there, broke a Lynn Bjorklund, like age-old, amazing course record. That has like 13 miles of sustained downhill. Is that right?
Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah.
Half up, half down.
Yeah, I mean the entire way is downhill.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
What was that like? Obviously it went pretty well for you.
Yeah. Well, Pikes Peak is very runnable downhill. It's not that steep. So you can really just fly. And it doesn't put a tremendous amount of pressure on your body and on your joints. So if this downhill is like that, I think it's going to be pretty good.
Well, I think it's a lot steeper, but the amount of time that you're doing it for is, I don't think, that different from how long it takes somebody like you to go down Pikes Peak. So yeah, I mean, the whole mechanics of it is different, but the amount of time that you're like committed to going downhill is, to me, kind of similar.
Okay, right. So yeah, I mean, downhill is easier than uphill. So
we'll ask you how you're feeling about the downhill at the bottom of it on Saturday.
Yeah.
All right. Well, best of luck to you at Transvulcania on Saturday, and perhaps more importantly, best of luck in your bag arriving from China.
Thanks so much for both.